Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure by now you are all weathered to the extremely volatile and unpredictable price of silver. I mean, we're living in crazy times, so you can only expect crazy prices, right? Right now, there's a lot going on. I mean, the FOMC talking about inflation, interest rates, so many things pushing and pulling silver back and forth. And since silver is a much smaller market than gold, you're going to see the prices affected more dramatically. So, with that said, we're going to talk about silver's price performance. Very important video. We have two articles. Two very opposite articles. This one is talking about how silver's price is actually better than you think. So we're going to look at why silver's price performance is not so bad. And actually, it's performing better than gold. And why? We're going to dig deep into that. And we're also going to be looking at another factor into silver's price as it is under strong pressure as the dollar rallies to new highs. So you can see this is going to be a very important video. Make sure you stick all the way through. Make sure you're subscribed. You cannot be blindly investing in today's day and age, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be tuned in, and I'm gonna give you the inside scoop every single day. Every single day. I never miss anything. I go through these sites that post every single article about silver every single day, and I skim through them. You can see all of these. Look, 28th, all the way down. I'm skimming through and highlighting 10, 15 different articles a day, and I'm always going to give you the most relevant stuff. So you're never going to miss a beat if you're subscribed. Another channel you definitely also need to be subscribed to is the first ever silver stacking podcast to air on YouTube, which is hosted by yours truly, which is me and Investing with TJ. Our first podcast is live. You definitely want to go check this out. It is amazing, amazing content, so much rich filled stuff and convos and topics, and TJ breaks down the charts, and it's just amazing. We actually just filmed the second podcast, which will be airing next Friday. So every Friday, a new podcast drops, and then throughout the week, we'll be posting segments. We're also doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, so the first 1,000 subs is going to be able to potentially win some silver shipped straight to your front doorstep. Now, I do want to mention something else real quick. I talked about GSX, gold secured currency, recently in a video, and people were asking some questions about it since it is so complex. It's very, very, I guess, revolutionary compared to what they're doing and compared to other cryptos, since it is backed by physical gold that they dig out of the ground. So I'm going to show this really quick couple-minute commercial because it explains it the best, better than I can. So check this out real quick. And if you want to start investing, the link is in the description.
Crypto. Everyone's doing it. You've heard it all before. Whether it's from your cousin, who won't shut up about the end of cash, or your best friend from high school, who made a killing off Dogecoin. But what about a coin that's doing things a little different? Investing in crypto can be an emotional roller coaster. But what if it wasn't? That's what the geniuses at Apollo FinTech thought. So they said, why don't we just create a coin that's stable and facilitates growth and value? And then they were like, yeah, why don't we just do that? And they did. They created GSX. So what makes GSX so special? Glad you asked. 1.
Your coin is backed by real assets and gold, baby. This, all around me, is what's backing this.
2. Mining assets plus 50% of what's mined all get stuffed back into a trust.
When you buy GSX, you buy into this trust,
where your coin value continues to grow.
Trust me. Get it?
No? Okay.
3. So let's get this straight.
Your GSX is linked to a trust. That trust is being fed by assets that continue to grow. The value of the trust grows, so does the value of your GSX. Revolutionary. No one else is doing crypto like this. We're not saying digital currency is the future. We're saying it's here. And when it comes to investing in an extremely volatile market, why not choose a coin that offers you stability and growth?
Now, I think you can get an idea on why I love that crypto and why I'm invested. So if you do want to check it out, like I said, the link's in the description. The coins are 3 cents. So silver's price performance might actually be better than you think. Silver's price performance is not so bad. There is a case to be made that silver has met its expectations, at least relative to gold, that is. And yes, I mean, when I look backwards the last 2 years, the gold to silver ratio in March 2020 was 125 to 1. Silver was worthless compared to gold. Basically, that's what it's saying. But the ratio has went from 125 to 1 down to 75 to 1, meaning silver has astronomically outperformed gold. And as you, or some of you may know at least, silver was the number 1 performing asset in 2020. And the the last 10 years, let's put it like this. Last 10 years, the average price of silver was $15. So now looking at silver and reaching up to 30 last year and even sitting around 24, 25, that's extremely good. But people are desensitized. They're used to this $30 price. So right now it might not seem so good. So let's look at this. Those who are insistent that silver has huge ground to make up in comparison to gold, or the gold price, should take a special note. Let's look at the gold to silver ratio. Whenever comparisons are made between gold and silver prices, some investors and analysts base expectations for higher silver prices on the fact that a return to the fixed gold to silver ratio of 16 to 1 is inevitable. And that's a good point. Actually, in our podcast we just filmed, there was an article talking about $10,000 gold, $500 silver. That's a ratio of 20 to 1, which actually isn't so crazy. The quote unquote normal price, today's terms, I would say is around 70 to 1, but that is still abnormal looking at the reality. The argument is based on the belief that there is a fundamental justification for the ratio and the two metals will gravitate back towards it. In the Mint Act of 1792, the gold price was fixed at $20.67 an ounce and the silver price at $1.29. The official fixed prices for both metals were in effect when the creation of Federal Reserve was authorized by an act of Congress in 1913. When gold peaked in August 2020 at over $2,000 an ounce, it marked an all-time high and nearly exact 100-fold increase. 2060 divided by $20.67 in price over the past century. This correlates with the 99% loss in the US dollar purchasing power over the same time period. And I'm sure it is a 99% now. I used to say the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. And that's a literal number, ladies and gentlemen. Since 1971, when we got rid of the gold standard, everything hit the fan. I mean, of course, the dollar wasn't backed by anything anymore. But if you're looking at this, like the article says, 99% lost in the US dollar over the same time period. The price of silver in August 2020 peaked at almost $30 an ounce, thanks to Wall Street Silver, which, by the way, today is their birthday, which was not an all-time high. And also the multiple increase in silver's price is less than $29.26 divided by 1.29, $22.68. It's almost 23-fold compared to gold's 100-fold increase. This means that silver's price is not keeping up with the effects of inflation. It is not even close to doing so. In order for silver to match the 100-fold increase of gold, what gold did, price of silver would need to be $129 an ounce. New gold-silver ratio? And actually, this is what I was talking about. In 1930, FDR got in office, changed the gold-to-silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1. He single-handedly devalued silver. In March 1931, the price of silver was 29 cents an ounce, having fallen along with other commodities over the decade in the 1920s. Silver's price had declined 75% from its high of $1.13 an ounce in June 1919. The official price of silver was still $1.29, and so the amount of silver in a silver dollar is worth nearly 80% less than the official government price. And that's when you're looking at silver, a Walking Liberty had 50 cents of silver in it. So you can see how this all is just coming to a very, it's doomed. I mean, they didn't set silver up or gold to be successful compared to the dollar to keep the dollar afloat to some extent when you get rid of a gold or silver standard. If we use 29 cents an ounce, a fully deflated price, and only 1 penny off of its all-time low of 28 cents to measure silver's price performance going forward, we find that in August 2020 at $29.26 an ounce, silver's increase is now close to 100-fold and matches the 100-fold increase in gold. Calculating a ratio for the two metal yields a considerably different result than the official 16-to-1 number. When we divide the gold price of $20.67 an ounce by 29 cents, for silver the result's 71-to-1 rather than 16-to-1. That compares favorably with the 70-to-1 ratio resulting from the calculation using the August 2020 highs for both metals. Here's the conclusion, and I have some stuff to say afterwards. When comparing silver's price performance to gold's, measuring from the Depression era lows for silver is more realistic than using the $1.29 ounce fixed price. Investors and others should reconsider any pronouncements claiming that silver is undervalued relative to gold. If, however, you think that there is a merit in calculating and relying on any gold to silver ratio, please keep in mind the following. The current ratio is 78-to-1, not 16-to-1. The ratio of gold prices to silver prices trended higher in favor of gold for more than 40 years, and the gold to silver ratio will continue to widen in favor of gold as long as the US dollar continues to lose purchasing power. Now, this is true to some extent, but they left out a lot of context, and this is why I love, this is why I love breaking down articles like this, because they missed an entirely important point. The biggest point, actually, bigger than this. You want to know what it is? Supply and demand. Gold is not scarce. Silver is scarce. If you don't believe me, go to APMEX, look at the premium on a gold coin, and then go look at the premium on a silver coin. 1 ounce each. Silver is extremely scarce. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. We're going to need more and more silver over the next 10 years at a rate where we literally don't have enough. Literally by 2030, we will run out of silver. Silver is used for solar panels, electric vehicles, 5G towers, silver lithium-ion batteries, so on and so forth. And as we advance in this new technological digital era, we're going to need more and more silver, but there's less and less of it. You can't try to debate that. And let me pause real quick and say something else. Gold is a monetary metal used for coins, bars, jewelry, necklaces. Silver is a monetary metal and an industrial metal. So, not only will silver benefit when gold does, like this article is saying, but silver is going to benefit over the next decade where gold simply won't. Gold is used in electronics at a very, very small fraction compared to silver, but gold isn't going to be scarce. We're not going to be running out of gold. We're going to be running out of silver. And knowing that is a benefit where silver will take on a life of its own compared to gold. If silver wasn't used as an industrial metal and just monetary metal, yes, this article would be spot on. But they didn't mention that silver is extremely scarce. There's a massive silver shortage, and that itself is going to push the price apart from gold. They didn't mention that in this article. They didn't mention that. They're missing the entire point of why my name is Silver Slayer and not Gold Slayer. Because if silver was an industrial metal, if that part of the situation or the conversation was non-existent, then yes, I would be investing in a gold. But they're missing the entire point, right? Just like investing in TJ and I were in our podcast talking about, because he's the numbers guy, right? He comes from inflation, interest rates, and he doesn't really look much at the silver shortage. So I can bring my perspective and he can bring his perspective and his specialty, and we can have a realistic, a very educated conversation about this, because yes, there are things that's going to push silver up or down compared to gold, but I can also add more onto the context that he missed as well. The gold to silver ratio, he says, would be 16 to 1. It is 71 to 1. But the new gold to silver ratio would actually be much smaller. You want to know why? Because the ounce of gold that gets dug up out of the ground is going to stay in circulation for probably 50, 60, 70 years. Because gold is only used for jewelry, for coins. So it gets melted down, made into more jewelry and coins. Gets melted down because people are going to pawn to sell gold since it's so profitable, since it's so expensive. Silver is mainly used in electronics, which nobody's scrapping silver out of electronics. If silver was mainly used for jewelry, yes, it probably would get scrapped, recycled, reused more. But silver's an industrial metal. So most silver gets dug up. That 1 ounce silver coin that's dug up is going to be thrown away within 5-10 years, not compared to the gold coin, which is going to stay in circulation for 50, 60, 70 years. And silver is a byproduct to gold, lead, and zinc. They don't look for silver. There's only a couple primary focal silver mines. Most silver that gets dug up is found by accident. So if you're looking at a gold to silver ratio, if you want to go coming out of the ground like it has been for the last thousands of years, that ratio is actually much smaller than 8 to 1, which right now it currently is. They say 8 to 1, but it's smaller because that ounce of silver is going to be thrown away fairly shortly after, and there's a silver shortage. So, knowing all that on top of this, you can see how this article isn't exactly as accurate or makes the strong point that they tried to. So I also wanted to throw that in there as well. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure you go subscribe to the Silver Stacking Podcast. First 1,000 subs eligible to win some silver. We have 515 subscribers right now. Our video posted yesterday did very well. It already has 1.4 thousand views. That's got to be some type of record, right? The first YouTube channel, a fresh new YouTube channel, their first video gets over 1,000 views. That's very good. Very, very good ratings. You guys loved it. There's so much rich-filled content. And actually, the second podcast we just filmed about an hour ago that's going to be going up on Friday is even better, right? We're just learning, right? So we're still tweaking some things. We're still getting better. And this thing is going to be huge. I expect this thing to be bigger than my channel. I mean, this is the first ever podcast. We have so many different things, special guests lined up, silver memes, different topics. TJ always gives the weekly market breakdown since he is the chartered financial analyst. He can bring that side of things where I simply am clueless about. So there's just a lot of educational stuff to learn from this podcast. Plus, it's just fun to see two silver stackers having a convo. Right, I show my face in the podcast, so does he. So it's just a really cool new format to really bring some life to the silver stacking world, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. The two links, or the link to this article will be in the description. Also, remember, if you did want to check out GSX, gold secured currency, links in the description. I know that some people are still a little confused on it because there's so much to learn, but I did write a huge thing in the description. And hopefully that commercial helped out as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.